single act of good can go a long way. It can cross oceans, cure disease, and create equality. As members of Rotary, we are people of action, and our actions have the power to speak loud and clear. Our vision and commitment to finding solutions keeps us connected to those who need it most, changing lives and creating opportunities with our groundbreaking work in education and literacy. There are more kids enrolled in school now than at any other point in human history, which is why supporting teachers is key. In classrooms, our innovative approach creates critical thinkers and big dreamers with the skills to achieve. Our global grants train teachers to use materials, new methods, and technology to inspire and energize students of all ages. We believe education has the power to lift families up, make real change, modify behavior, create healthy habits, and open minds. We believe that education creates security and safety in families so they can support, provide, and make informed, empowered decisions. Your contribution keeps students far and wide connected to a world of good. Every donation is an action that speaks volumes across classrooms, communities, and continents. Because the distance between an act of good and the lives it touches isn't as vast as you might imagine. Learn how you can support the cause that means the most to you.
Welcome to the Rotary Club meeting of January 28th, our teacher mini grant presentation, and it's my pleasure to introduce our president, Diva Alfaro.
Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. I want to thank the teachers for taking the time. I know you worked all day taking care of our students. Some of us are parents, so I commend you because I could hear my daughter on the other side, always in class. So thank you so much for taking the time and for everything you do for our students and for our community. So to go ahead and keep this going, I'm going to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Casey Cox.
Good evening, our teachers, our dignitaries, and our special guests. I want you to know how special tonight is. I put on a collared shirt, period. That's come a long way. And I did that especially for Raymond, who would have fined me so many dollars at our next Rotary meeting had I not put on a collared shirt. He'll let me off the hook because I didn't wear a tie. But that's really not why this is so special tonight. It's because Steve Scott is actually on camera. So the Rotary meets every week on Wednesday. We get together, we do this on Zoom. We have an amazing experience, and you'll hear more about what we do as a Rotary. But Steve does not come on camera. And Steve is going to be co-hosting with me tonight. I'm going to kind of kick off the first half, and he's going to take it home because education is so important to us as the Rotary. I'm actually going to be jumping over to the Wellness Foundation meeting tonight. We've got a special presentation that I'm going to be jumping back and forth between both of that one and back here. But three of us on the Rotary, our wives are educators. We as a Rotary Club, and like I said, we'll share more about what we do as a Rotary, but education and the Bonita Unified School District has been on the top of our priority list. And we've actually even wrestled with, are we too concerned about education? Are we too committed to the Bonita Unified District? And we've had those crossroads asking ourselves, do we need to be more diversified? Do we need to reach out and invest in more places so that we get our name out there, or maybe we could grow? And our answer every time is no. We believe that what we are committed to doing in our community and investing in our educational system, partnering with the Education Foundation, partnering with all sorts of, specifically with Chaparral High and our STOMP program, being adamant that we will raise money and commit a huge percentage of our finances to you, the educators, is what this Rotary of San Dimas is all about. So I just want to commend you. I want to thank you. And I want you to know that tonight is special. And tonight truly is special, not because I'm wearing a collared shirt, Steve is on camera, or that the Rotary of San Dimas really does care about the Bonita Unified School District and education. Tonight is truly special because you are rising up in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of distance learning, in the middle of chaos, and we say it no less, to say, I believe I can do something new. I believe I still can raise the level of my game and educate students beyond the norm, beyond the expectation. And that's really what we're excited tonight to do, is to honor those grants, to honor those opportunities, and to say thank you. Thank you for putting students first. Thank you for putting education as a institution and a model and a top priority. And thank you for filling out an application form so we could honor and reward your excellent teaching, your work, and just who you are making a contribution. So I'm going to ask everybody to take themselves off mute. Literally, we're going to do a Zoom snafu, but I just want you to applaud. Do it now. Applaud. All right, if you didn't take yourself off mute, that didn't count. You'll have to applaud later. This will be one of the first events that we'll ever do that we won't have to tell people, don't applaud after everybody who we announce. Go ahead and applaud all you want. Just put yourself on mute and let it go. So tonight, we're going to just celebrate the Rotary. We're going to celebrate educators. What I'd like to start with is inviting our Rotary members to just come off mute one at a time, introduce themselves, say their name, you know, and open it up so we can see who the Rotary members are. If you're a Rotarian, take yourself off mute one at a time like we do on Wednesdays and introduce yourself.
Raymond Foster, President-elect. Public Image Chair, that means I'm the face of Rotary.
Eva Alfaro, President of Rotary, been a Rotarian of Rotary Club San Dimas, been a Rotarian for about 3 years.
Marianne Kistler.
Go ahead, Marianne.
Marianne Kistler, 20-year plus member, Foundation.
Steve Scott, current treasurer, member of the Rotary Club for about 11 years, and spouse of a teacher.
I'm Craig Jung. I'm a 6-year member. And I'm sorry, I mean, camera was off. I was giving my son a bath right now. But I'm past president.
I'm Terry Kissler. I'm from Azusa Rotary. Glad to be enjoying the San Dimas Rotary looking tonight.
I'm Ray Kearney with the Azusa Rotary Club, current treasurer and assistant governor for Group 5. Glad to be here.
Derek Bathmanu, new Rotary member, and very happy to be here.
Greg Pilato, I'm representing Laverne Rotary. I've been there since last year.
Looking around the screen, I think we got everybody. Are there any other Rotarians that, there's one, there you go. And if there's any teachers who are connected to a Rotarian member, if there's a Rotarian member in your family and you're an educator, I'd love you to give a shout out to who you are connected to as a Rotarian, but let's hear from another Azusa member.
I am Soli Asmar with the Azusa Rotary Club.
Thank you, Soli. Do we have anybody else that's married to, connected to, family members of, child of a Rotarian? If not, sounds good. We've got a number of other wonderful people in this screen tonight, and rather than me actually going through and naming you, if you believe you're a dignitary, I'm going to ask you to do what we just did as the Rotarians. Zoom is so funny. Like if I announce everybody and then it's back and forth, but just we'll do it just the same. You know who you are because you've been to enough events. You know, our new city manager, you're a dignitary too. Nice to meet you. But what I'd like to do is the same kind of style. If you are a dignitary, it means you hold a position over an institution, you hold a city council position, you are an elected official, or you're somebody who's here tonight because we said you matter. So Scott, you matter. I want you to know that you matter too, and you really ought to go home from work. You don't have to be there any longer. But let's hear from our dignitaries. Really just introduce yourself. We are celebrating that you chose to make tonight a valuable time for you to commit to. We'd love you to come up and talk to us about what institution or organization are you representing, and how long have you been there? Let's hear from a few of our dignitaries.
Well, Casey, this is Dennis Bertone. I'm Mayor Pro Tem of the City of San Dimas, and I just want to tell your teachers that I was an educator for 38 years. I was a teacher and a high school counselor, and I know the hard work that they do. And I always say that you can't have a great city without a great school district, and you can't have a great school district without a great city. And I think both of ours are just fantastic. Our school district is just outstanding. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Denny. School board members, city council, elected officials, introduce yourself as a dignitary.
Am I on?
Go ahead, Chuck.
Okay, I'm Chuck Coyne. I've been served on the Bonita Unified School District's Board of Governors for 15 years now. I'm also on the McKinley Children's Center board for a couple, 3 years. And I've been on the board of the Laverne San Dimas Educational Foundation for about 19 or 20 years. And my thanks to everyone in the Rotary involved with doing this nice program, and congratulations to all our teachers that are going to benefit from the generosity of all the Rotary members. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Chuck.
I'm Ryan Vienna with the San Dimas City Council. I was elected in March of 2017 and was on the Public Safety Commission before that. Professionally, as some of you know, I'm a lieutenant with the Sheriff's Department, and as a deputy, I had the unique opportunity to work here and there as a school resource deputy. So I definitely appreciate the teachers and all the work that you do day in and day out. My thanks to the Rotary for putting on this event, supporting our teachers. It's very important, especially in today's challenging environment. And there's a lot of moving parts. So this is awesome to see that we're continuing this work. It's very important. And thank you all for having us tonight.
Thank you, Ryan. I'll call out Derek. Oh, or Carl, go ahead.
I think he's on mute.
There we go. I think by now it'd be used to Zoom. Carl Coles, it's my honor to be the superintendent for Bonita Unified School District. You know, it's, you know, I'll have a few comments at the end, but, you know, I think Dennis said it the best. You can't have a great city without a great school district. You can't have a great school district without a great city. And at the heart of it, and what we're celebrating today, is our teachers. And it really, truly is what takes place in that classroom every day that matters, and that makes a difference in the community. So thank you to the Rotary, and it's my honor to just be a part of tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Well, my name is Derek Batmanu. I've been on the school board. I got elected in 2018. Was installed, I think, in December of 2018, and it's been an amazing experience. And I think this event, these are the things that really, one of the things that make our district and our community special. It's this partnership between our city government, our community groups, and our school district to empower our teachers to have even more amazing lessons. We're helping provide funding so that our teachers can go above and beyond and give our kids a great experience. So I'm fortunate enough to have my kids in the school district, and they love everything about Bonita. And yeah, I just want to thank the teachers for all the hard work they do as well. And thank you, everyone who supports the San Dimas and Laverne Rotary.
Thank you, Derek.
All right, I'm spotlighted. I guess that means it's my turn. Greg Pilato, I've been a school board member for a long time. It's been about 2 months now. It feels like a long time. I'm excited to be here. I'm very honored to work for such a great city and school district. I myself am an educator. I started as a instructional aide. I've been a substitute teacher, and I've been a school psychologist for the last 20 years. My wife's a teacher as well. She teaches elementary school for the last 15 years. Great to meet some new teachers here. Happy to support you and looking forward to tonight.
Thank you, Greg. All you, Scott.
So I'm the proud principal of San Dimas High School. Yes, it takes a great school district to make a fantastic school like San Dimas High School and a fantastic city. But I'd really like to spotlight Rotary in this, because they have done to actually go out and continue doing the work for teachers. Because as you know, we can't have a fantastic school or a fantastic community without fantastic teachers working in the classroom. They are in the trenches every single day, and I could not do what they're doing right now. It's incredible, honestly, to do what they have to do every single day on Zoom. We got to do this for once an hour, once in a while, but they do it all the time. So Yes. Incredible. But thank you, Rotary, for stepping up and continuing doing the work that you do. So thank you.
Thank you, Scott. All right, Chris.
Oh, I don't consider myself a dignitary, but thank you. My name is Chris Constantine. I'm the city manager for San Dimas. I've been in LA County and in this position for 4 weeks, so I'm still learning. I will say that when it comes to education, it has a special place in my heart. I've spent 13 years in elected office over a school district, 6 more years as an accreditor on the accrediting commission, and 6 years as a Rotarian for a different city that provided awards to education because we felt that it was that important to honor our teachers. And so this is an honor to be here and see these grant awards today.
Thank you, Chris, and welcome to San Dimas. We look forward to getting more acquainted with you as a Rotary and just as city individuals as well. Well, our dignitaries were given time to speak. One, because I want to acknowledge that in light of the current situations, it's hard to be a leader. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of expectation that you would solve things that they're just things that are out of control. And when you're in a leadership role, you're expected to have an answer. You're expected to solve problems, and you're expected to rise above whatever circumstance and situation. And so our dignitaries in this season have worked harder and been under more pressure than ever. And some of them already said that. I think that's what teachers do every day. Every day they encounter situations, circumstances, and things that come out of the blue that they go, all right, I'm being called upon to answer, to address, and to bring some sort of semblance to a classroom that could look like chaos, but because I'm a leader, it won't. And I will lead through this opportunity. I will rise up and I will guide these pupils, these students, in such a way that they begin to believe in themselves the way that I as an educator can believe in them. And I believe that to be true for every single one of our teachers that have joined us tonight. And so I just wanted to acknowledge our dignitaries that are under this pressure and duress, our teachers who do it every day. And thank you, Scott, for calling it out that, man, I couldn't do it. And I'm so glad I don't have to do it because our teachers are rising up, kind of because I do have the kids at home who are distant learning, but I know it's not the same. And I give it a shout out because I'm one of those parents that gets to listen to what the teachers are doing now behind the scenes and go, what are they saying? What are they doing? And major shout out to you educators who are rising up and overcoming the obstacles. Well done. So tonight, it's not about the dignitaries. It's not about me. It's not about the Rotary. It is about our educators. And I'm going to hand it over to Raymond Foster, and then Raymond's going to hand it back over to Steve, and Steve's going to take us forward tonight. So Raymond, I'm going to hand it back to you and give a club perspective.
And this time last year, we were just giving out the Teacher Mini Grant Awards, and we had a whole entire year planned. And as February began to unfold, all of us experienced some trepidation. And then in March, everything came to a screeching halt for everyone in this Zoom meeting. And our lives changed, and it changed for Rotary too. And one of the things we asked ourselves at that time is, how can we move forward? But then we realized something. You know, Rotary has been around since 1905. Rotary has survived the great pandemic of the influenza in the early part of the 20th century. Rotary survived the Great Depression, the Korean War, World War I, World War II, all the challenges of the 20th century. Rotary not only survived, but it thrived. And it's an organization of 1.2 million neighbors, friends, and leaders in 35,000 clubs in nearly every country in the world. And so what we did was we said, let's fall back on our core values. I'm going to imagine that just about all of you in this meeting, as you approach the challenges we faced in 2020, said the same thing. Let's get down to what's very important to us and let's move forward. And so we developed not just a Zoom meeting, but we went forward with a virtual platform. We expanded our social media outreach. We now have 12,000 Twitter followers, 1,000 Facebook followers, and we established a YouTube channel. And not only that, but these meetings, this one also, is recorded and televised on KWST. So we were able to bring the information from Rotary and from our speakers into people's homes. And then we began to sponsor safe community events. During the last 9 months, we've raised over $100,000 in money, goods, and services for San Dimas. We've raised over $10,000 in money, goods, and services for projects outside of San Dimas. We took this opportunity to strengthen our community relationships, establish new community relationships, and we actually experienced membership growth. And that's during this last 9 months of the pandemic. The hallmark of a Rotary Club is its speakers, and Zoom gave us the opportunity to cast a net that was very wide, and we had everyone from the mayor, the superintendent, other clubs, and we also got to visit Africa with Drexel Smith, where we went on a rotoplast mission where the surgeons, plastic surgeons, go to Africa and they repair cleft palates and burns that children had experienced in cooking fires. And then we were able to go to Beirut and experience firsthand a man who lived through and then was rebuilding his city as a Rotarian after the largest non-nuclear human explosion ever. And then we went back to Africa with Little Dresses for Africa, and we saw a woman who is taking young girls out of child marriage bondage and freeing them with a school that they started through the tribal chieftain system, and building clean water wells and giving self-esteem through dresses. It was amazing programs that we've had the last 9 months. But you know, this has been that year that it's been the pandemic, but there was a whole lot of stuff that went on that had we had not had the pandemics, what we would have talked about. And during 2020, we had terrible wildfires, particularly up in the Northwest, but here in California, remember that the forest burned for like 2.5, 3 weeks. And so we thought, what can we do to help our first responders during that period? And so the Rotary went out to both our fire station and our sheriff's station, and we took them water and drinks and snacks that won't melt. That's what they wanted, snacks that won't melt, because it was so hot out there that they needed things that just wouldn't melt. And so that was one of our first projects. And then we started thinking very early on, what could we do for our teachers? What could we bring to them that would help them and be enriching? And so we applied for a grant that valued just about $100,000 through the master's class program. We were able to get 552 passes. And we worked with Bonita Unified School District to take care of the teachers and all of the staff that wanted to pass. And then we were able to extend that geographically to Life Pacific University, Holy Name of Mary, and Canyon View up in McKinley, so that all of the educators within the geographic boundaries, not only the district, but the geographic boundaries of San Dimas, were able to make themselves available to this. You know, we honored community members. We have this thing in Rotary called a Paul Harris Fellow, and it's something that you earn as a Rotarian, and we have this Byzantine point system that we work on, and many of our club members are Paul Harris Fellows. But you can also take your points and you can pool them and you can donate them. And we have this guy who doesn't even live in the city, and he's a Rotarian in Azusa. That's not even in the city either. But first time I met him was in that picture of Santa Claus at Head Start, which is on the border of San Dimas and Laverne. And all of those children who he passed a gift out. And each year he would be at the pancake breakfast, flipping pancakes and giving me a hard time. And he was our Santa Claus for downtown for years. And so we got together and we honored Terry Kistler with a Paul Harris Fellow. And so that was one of the things that we were able to accomplish. You know, we've done this stomp thing for years, and that's where we worked with Chaparral High School, and we would bring to lunch a student teacher and a professional of the month. It would be something that the young person who was the teacher or the student of the month, they said they wanted to pursue this career. So we'd go out and find that person. Well, of course, we can't meet in person anymore. And you know what was so amazing about that? Invariably, these students would come to us. They didn't want to be scientists and they didn't want to be engineers. They wanted to be social workers and police officers and firefighters. These children these young people who were facing these challenges in life, they wanted to be something that could correct the problems that they had experienced. That was very clear to us. So we continued this. We can't have them online. We can't take their pictures, but notice that the sign that's put up in the front of their house has our little Rotary emblem and our People of Action hashtag. They also get a gift card, and we have the teacher of the month we were giving also a gift to. So we continued that program as best we could. Art for Peace contest. Nothing gets done if somebody doesn't do it. We didn't know exactly how we could get this out to you. So we did a number of ways, different number of modes of communication. We actually made up 300 copies of this application, put a cover letter on it, sent it to all the schools within San Dimas district, and then we managed getting the links to the teachers, and we were successful, and we were able to bring home 3 prizes from our young people who, for the Rotary Peace Conference at the district level, created a piece of art, and the theme was peace out of chaos. And so we were able to bring this into the students also. Then we experimented with our first community project, and what we did was we partnered with a number of organizations, and then we conned a community co-chair, which is Emmett Badar, our mayor, is our first one. And we were able to get over 1,100 pounds of warm clothing for the Salvation Army of Williston, North Dakota. And that's 34 big boxes. It was 3 truckloads. And Williston has over 50 days a year of sub-zero temperature. And that clothing was distributed by the Salvation Army. Our next project, we decided to go forward with another community event where we partnered with the San Dimas Masonic Lodge, the Salvation Army, a couple of businesses. And by the way, we had silent partners in all of this. The school district was wonderful in getting our flyer out. The Chamber of Commerce was wonderful in getting our flyer out. But in this event with our co-chair, Ryan Vienna, and Ryan apparently had to top the mayor because we raised 2 tons of food, which we were able to give to the Salvation Army, which services an area from about the 605 freeway out to the 15, and they feed 950 families a week. And so one of the best comments that we had on both of these events was, when are we going to do the next one? What are we going to do next? And on Ryan's event in particular, one of the volunteers was standing. We did this at the Masonic Lodge, and as food was being received, it was being unpacked and then sorted and repacked so that it would be easy for them to use at the Salvation Army. The volunteer said, I wasn't in the military, but I feel like I'm in the middle of a military operation the way this is running. And so Ryan, with his organizational skills, ran it very well, and we're deeply appreciative of that. We did other things. We continued with our foundation giving and our Polio Plus campaign. I'm going to tell you 2 secrets tonight. Here's one of them. This Rotary Club has been recognized by Rotary International because we have given over 225,000 polio inoculations to people in India, Pakistan, and Africa. That's 225,000 people we'll never meet, we don't know, who we inoculated against polio. And the numbers on that are that we saved about 75 lives over the last 25 or 30 years. We also contributed to the Oregon Wildlife Relief Fund when we were contacted by the Rotary District up there. And after hearing about Beirut the explosion, we contacted the Beirut Cedars Club in Los Angeles, and we made a sizable contribution to that relief to get food and cots there. And of course, we supported the District Peace Conference and a number of other small projects, but these were the main ones. Teachers. We have this long commitment. If you ask somebody, and Mary Ann is our longest serving Rotarian, I asked her, how long? She says, well, 25 or 30 years. Well, these pictures go back at least a decade. In fact, I know they go back a decade that we've been servicing the teachers as best we can. And I have a secret for you. This is the second secret I'm going to give you. I'm going to tell you why I think this is important to us. I was in the military for 6 years, and I was a police officer for nigh 25. And people always want to thank me for my service and talk about being a guardian of freedom and all that. And that's craziness. You know who the sentinels and the guardians of freedom are? The people who teach our children to read and write. That's where democracy is created over and over again, and teachers who toil day in and out to create a future they won't experience. And I think that's why it's important to us, because you are the reason we are free people, because people can read and write. And God bless you for that. Rotary Club of San Dimas, we are your neighbors, we are people of action, and we are Rotary. And Steve, I believe we have some grants to hand out.
We do. Thank you, Raymond. Let me start by saying a couple things. First, I always find it fitting that this is the time of the year that we give these grants away, because the Super Bowl is 9 days away, and for the San Dimas Rotary, this is our Super Bowl. This is what we work so hard for year round, because long before this awful pandemic and all of the things that have come along with it, and where we've had to define who's essential and who's not essential, we have defined teachers as essential in our community, essential for our children. As I said, as a spouse of a teacher, Casey's wife's a teacher, Mike, who I don't know if he's here, his wife's a teacher. And long before we were members of the club, we decided that education and the kids and the teachers who work so hard to put kids in a position to succeed are what we should focus our energy on. So this night is really what our club is all about. Raymond just went through a myriad of wonderful things that we do, and I couldn't be more proud of them, but this is the night that I'm most proud of. We often talk about Rotary moments. What was the moment when you joined Rotary where you said, aha, this is why I'm proud to be part of this club? My first year as a Rotary member when we did teacher mini grants was my first Rotary moment. Now I've had several since then, but that was the day where I said, all right, I made the right decision. This is a group that I want to be part of. And so before I get to each of the individual teachers, I sit with my wife at night when it's 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, and she's responding to parents on email and she's hopping on a quick Zoom. I watch how much money she spends on her classroom when you guys are actually in your classroom. I know how hard you work. We all do. We appreciate you, and that's why we do this. Our only regret is that our club's not bigger and we can't give more. We had, I believe, 25 applicants this year, which is fantastic. I wish we could have given grants to all of them. But those that we have chosen were so deserving, and their passion and their inspiration just came through the applications that they filled out. So what I'd like to do is introduce each teacher and give them a moment to talk about what they applied for and how they're going to go ahead and use this money. And so we're going to start with Wendy Roldan. Wendy, if you can talk about the school you're from and what you're going to use this grant for.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Okay, I should be on unmute. Thank you so much, Rotary Club, for having me. I really appreciate your considering my class. And it's even more wonderful that you chose my class. I come from Canyon View School. We're a division of McKinley Children's Center. My name is Wendy Roldan. I teach middle school, which is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I have all 3 grades in my class. My passion are students from disadvantaged backgrounds, and the ones that I work with, of course, those backgrounds, contribute to their where they end up going to school at. My kids went so many months with only contact via telephone and via written notes, via packages and paper. And fortunately, just recently we received a gift of Chromebooks for our kids. Most of the kids did not have access to Chromebooks. And we're so grateful because after hearing the tears on the telephone from kids saying how much they missed us and how much they needed to be back at school, how much they missed seeing our faces because they didn't have access to seeing us, even on a video screen, meant so much to us when we received that gift. Well, it was wonderful that we received that gift because then all of a sudden my students were discovering that they had new talents. They're learning how to type on those keypads. They're learning how to do Google searches. They're learning how to do assignments on their computers rather than on a piece of paper. So then I start getting requests. Hey, Miss Wendy, can we look into maybe some science videos or some extra things that we can do when you're not with us? And there's only so many free programs out there that we can access, and then of course that our kids can access because we have to make sure they're safe as well. So when I wrote my grant request, I have it right here. It was very long, and I apologize for how long it was, but clearly it reached who it needed to reach. And I just wanted to say that I am deeply grateful that you guys got together and made this opportunity possible for my students. They're going to be receiving a science-based computer program to go on their Chromebooks that they'll be able to access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And thank you so much for that. And since I have the opportunity and I'm on the stage right now, I wanted to thank Dwight Council, our Vice President of Education, for joining us today. Miss Mandy, our principal, and Tony Castro, our Vice Principal. Again, those Chromebooks, between you guys and Grace Sanchez, that was just the beginning, which led up to today and the opportunity for the Rotary Club to help our kids even more. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you for everything that you've done. Moving on, our next recipient is Carrie Cooper.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to reach more of my students. I teach middle school math at Lone Hill. I have primarily 6th grade, which is, the foundation of a lot of the other higher math. And so I try to think about what would help my students the most succeed and fully grasp the concepts in 6th grade so that anything further on is easier. And so I ask for various manipulatives so that I can engage my students and have fun in math. In middle school, they don't find math all that fun. So what I can do to help and engage my students and all those manipulatives will help them succeed and hopefully enjoy math and have a better view of math and be successful in the future.
Thank you very much, Carrie. Next, we have Andrea Castaneda.
Hi, I want to thank everybody at the Rotary for this grant. I teach students with special needs at Lone Hill Middle School, so I have 6th through 8th grade. And my students, their disabilities range, they're moderate to severe, but I do have some students that are nonverbal. And so this grant money would be going to some programs like Boom Cards, which I don't know if you're quite familiar with, but it gives my students, those that are nonverbal and those that are verbal, to play games, but they're educational games, and where they can actually type or tap on their iPad, so it does allow them to use their voice, right? Some of them have AAC devices, so they aren't able to necessarily talk to show me that they know they have the skills that they do. So this allows them to show their skills by touching, a picture. And another thing is fidgets. So when the pandemic hit, I was trying to scramble, like, what can I do? Because some of the parents haven't been used to being with their child for such a long time or all day while they're in school. And so my students do benefit from fidgets so that they can stay focused. And over the time, those fidgets, they get a lot of wear and tear. Some of them last a day. So this money is going to be used to replenish those tools that they need to be successful. And another thing that I want to purchase with this grant money is a hokey stool for flexible seating. So when my kiddos do come back, we have a couple in the classroom, but I'm getting more kids, and so they definitely need those seats to also, again, stay focused. And I really thank you guys for giving them the tools that they need to be successful. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Geraldine Proust.
Hi, I'm Geraldine. I teach math and computer science at San Dimas High. Would it be okay if I shared my screen so you can see what I plan to purchase? Okay. At San Dimas, last year we started a club called Femineers. Femineers is a club to encourage girls to explore engineering. And it was started at Cal Poly Pomona and in conjunction with San Diego State University. So this year, we hadn't started the club because of the pandemic, and we had just started last spring, and the girls were building some things and before we had to shut down. So one of my students who's in my computer science class said, "Are we going to do Femineers?" And I was thinking, I don't know, how do we do this hands-on thing remotely? So I'm like, well, if we can get some more kits, we can have, you know, we can try it. We can try it. So remotely, I've been having guest speakers for the girls, women engineers and computer scientists who just tell them their journey of education and deciding on careers in this area. What I'm going to use the grant money for is, let's see here. Oops, sorry, my touchpad's very touchy. Here's a picture of the girls working with these are called Hummingbird Kits. They connect to the laptop. The girls program what they want the kit to do. The kits have sensors, motion detectors, light sensors, and servos that move. So we just started working with these like last week because I was waiting to get them into the hands of everybody and waiting up till after break. So this was last year. We're not meeting in person, just so you know. So there's these kits, and they're expensive. I do have some, but we were hoping to grow a program for next year. I'm considering purchasing these robots. They're called Finch robots. They also are programmable and have different sensors so that you can program them to, you know, sense things and do different actions. So these will serve a dual purpose because I can use them in Femineers Club, but also in my computer science classes after the AP exam is over. So I am super excited about this, and I really have a passion for encouraging kids toward computer science and engineering, but especially computer science. And nowadays, what the comments the gentleman made about teaching reading and writing to ensure our democracy exists, I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate about education. On the first day of school, I tell my kids, well, why are you here? You're here because we want a citizenship that's educated and because we value our democracy. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. In the news the last few days about, well, okay, the last few years, hacking and, you know, election security, all these things are related to computer science and cybersecurity. So the more I can nudge kids towards having an interest in that, along with seeing a direct application of math that they learn, is what makes me happy. So I also just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the support. It feels very lonely to be teaching from home. We miss our kids immensely, and it feels good to be supported by the community. I have never worked in a school district that's been more supportive than this one, as far as giving us what we needed to do this distance learning. Our administrators have been so supportive. So at a time when things could get really negative right now, our teachers, I speak for our teachers, we feel supported. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Our next grant recipient is Carol Chambers. Carol?
I don't see Carol here.
Okay. Well, then we will move on to our next and final recipient, Jessica Truax.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much. I am Jessica Truax. I am new to San Dimas High School. I am their new athletic trainer and teacher, and I'm starting their sports medicine program and getting that off and running. And so this grant will definitely help with that. One of the things that I've done in the past, I've taught for the last 14 years at a local high school, not in the Bonita Unified. My husband's still there at Damien High School. He also taught anatomy and physiology, so we built a lot of our lesson plans together. And one of the things I really liked doing with my kids back there was building disassembled skeletons. So it's kind of like the human skeleton puzzle. And it's a manipulative, and they kind of really learn the body and the parts and pieces, where they go, what's front, what's back, what's left and right. And so this will be kind of a great way, as soon as I get my kids back, that they can start with their anatomy, and hopefully those manipulatives will grow on to something else, hopefully in the future, that they may take a career in healthcare, who knows. So thank you very much for this opportunity and to start our new program. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you to all our recipients. Again, we're really happy that we can support in even the small little way that we have here. And what I'd like to ask the teachers, the principals, the superintendents, other people at the district level, the Rotary Club is here to help. And a lot of times we don't know that there's help needed unless you reach out. So let's use tonight as kind of the first step in realizing that if there's a project, if there's something that you feel like I'd really like to get this off the ground, but I'm going to need some assistance, whether that's getting word out, whether that's financial assistance, please keep us in mind. That's what we're here for. That's what our passion is. And we like to match somebody else's passion with ours. So let's consider this a partnership and figure out how we can make our city and the district even better than it already is. So again, congratulations and thank you for all the work that you're doing. And I will now pass it back to Raymond.
Well, thank you very much. And I'd like to introduce for brief remarks, Carl Coles, the superintendent of the Bonita Unified School District. Mr. Coles.
I just want to say just a couple comments. It's just, you know, listening to everybody and just watching today, you know, in our district, we have 3 core values. It's equity, mastery, and a focus on results. And the focus on results is exactly, you know, what has been displayed here. It's action, not just words. You know, there's a lot of things out there that people say, you know, we want to support and we want to do things. But what we saw today was the action behind those words. And you can see just by this, you know, this event tonight, you have representatives from the city, we have school board members, we have teachers, and the Rotary all working together, because at the end of the day, we serve the same people. And in our district, we have 10,000 students. And those 10,000 students, they have hopes and dreams, and they have a purpose when they leave us. And it's our job to help them live out that purpose. And so, you know, we keep talking more and more about it. And the thing that I have, you know, firsthand witnessed, and all of us have witnessed, and just keep in mind that COVID, it's temporary. But the humanity and the support that we give to each other, it's not. The business of Rotary continues. The business of the city continues, and the business of the district continues. And I think when this all is over, I don't even think, I know, when this all is over, there'll come a time where we're going to stop, we're going to take a deep breath, and we're going to reflect on this. And with people like this, events like this, and the support and the love that just continues to pour out, I guarantee it, the city of San Dimas is going to come out stronger for it. We're going to come out stronger, and I think all of us are going to continue to be better for it. So on behalf of the school district, thank you for tonight. Thank you for all that you do. And I look forward to much more to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Coles. An integral part of Rotary is our 4-way test. It's an ethical standard that we hold ourselves to in our dealings with each other, in our community, and in our business. And I've asked Mike Wallace to talk briefly about the 4-way test. Mike, would you like me to put it up on the screen?
Yes, please. Thank you, Raymond.
Most welcome. It'll be as soon as I can manipulate it It will be right there.
I also have it here, but this is great. So the four-way test is an ethical kind of roadmap. If you think of a four-way stop, where everything that we think, say, and do should pass this four-way test as Rotarians. So if you think from one direction, is it the truth? It's pretty simple. Is it true? But coming from another direction, is it fair to all concerned? When you cross those two, something that may be true may not necessarily be fair to all those concerned. And then when you get down to the third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Something may be true and it may be fair, but it may not foster goodwill or better friendships. And then the fourth test, will it be beneficial to all concerned? When I think about this in the structure of Rotary, of everything we think, say, and do, it's easy for your actions, what you do, to make sure that it passes all of these four tests before you act. It's a little tougher to make sure that all four of these tests are passed before you speak. And it is incredibly difficult to make sure that something passes all four of these tests before you think. Because we all internalize things, frustrations, what have you, before we speak or act. But reeling everything in to what we think, say, and do, making sure that it passes all of these four tests, we know that in our thoughts, speech, and action, if something passes all four of these tests, we're probably pretty safe and we're going to end up creating positivity and goodwill and better friendships and foster that community that we would really like to see as the San Dimas Rotary.
Thank you, Mike. And so as we end tonight, I'd like to turn it back over to our president, Diva Alfaro, for her closing remarks.
Thank you, Raymond. And again, thank you for everybody that joined us today, and teachers, dignitaries, and fellow Rotarians, and those that visited us from other clubs. But back to the teachers, we're here for your, to support you. We're here to help you in any way we can. As a parent of two children, one that graduated Bonita Unified School District and a daughter that currently goes to San Dimas High, as well as I attended Bonita Unified School District schools from elementary to high school. One of my biggest pleasures is being able to help out my community, because they did so much for me and my family growing up. So we're here to help. We're all like-minded. We want to do what's best for our children and the children of the community. So, there's no harm in asking us. We're here to help you. But also, I want to invite you to join us. We meet every Wednesday via Zoom, and we have great speakers, some that, will make you cry, some that will make you laugh, but it's a great hour to spend your lunch hour with us. But I do invite you to come and join us to see what we're about, because we're here to help and build a stronger community. I also want to thank, just want to say one little thing. I had two teachers in my life that if it wasn't for them, I probably would have not gone to college. I would have probably maybe just traveled the world and then ended up being a nomad somewhere. But I had two teachers that had faith in me and pushed me to believe in myself, to do things that I would have never believed that I could have done. So those are the things that you do to children. And if you don't, I'm sure you see it, and if you don't, just know that you do change lives. And I hear my daughter at school all the time, sometimes laughing, sometimes frustrated, but it's the fact that I know that what she's going through and what you guys go through, because I do talk to some of the teachers, and I know you guys work very hard, and I want to thank you, because I know it's not easy. I did college online, and that wasn't easy, but I can't imagine a frustrated teenager or an elementary school or a child being able, or a middle school kid going through it. So thank you again for everything you do and your time and your time today. But I hope this time was not spent poorly. Again, I thank you guys so much. And I hope to see you guys next week. We'll send you out an invitation and hope that when you have a chance, you can join us. So with that being said, thank you again. The meeting's come to an end, and thank you one more time. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Thank you.